All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Me Dwelle Podcast, episode 126. I'm Stuart Anderson, and in this episode, we hear from Justin Spangler and co-host Spencer Chipping. We're grateful to gather the troops and hear about Justin's LOTOJA win. Absolutely incredible. His 2025 overall pro victory at LOTOJA, and this episode is us asking him all the questions and hearing all the details about how it went, when he had this goal, when he kind of created it, how he trained, prepared, how the day went, and all the details about what it was like to be there. So grateful for Justin. A lot of fun things coming his way because of this win. We talk about that at the end. Some fun invitations and things that have materialized because of it. But grateful for him, thankful for his willingness to share and represent the team. Really fun episode with him. As always, this podcast and team, we're so grateful for all of our sponsors, including cyclingupgrades.com. We're grateful for Corby and his team that make it possible for us to run Me Dwelle, and all of our incredible sponsors who are part of this team. We're grateful for them and thankful for everybody that's part of it. So enjoy this episode with Justin, and we've got a few more podcast episodes coming soon. A lot of good ones in the works. So we're grateful to kick this off with Justin, and then a few more episodes coming soon. All right, everybody, enjoy.
All right, what's up, everybody? I don't know if we want to call it a special edition. Let's just say episode 126. Let's do this. Chip, how are you?
Hey, doing great, guys. How are you guys?
Very good. Justin's with us. How are you, Justin?
Oh, it's a pleasure, Stu. Like always, to be here with you and Chip.
Justin has a lot going on. The list is very big. I think we should maybe do. The thing is like I think sometimes guys are like on the podcast and then they're like, "Well, I've been on," and I'm like, "Well, what we need to do is like, we need to be interviewing everybody once a year." Like a check-in with everybody.
A recap on life.
A recap, yeah. And I think that is where we are right now. Is Justin has some incredible stuff that has happened, that is going to happen, and we need a hardcore check-in. So we're grateful to be together, thankful to talk, especially about one thing that I actually never. I mean, when normal humans participate in LOTOJA, they're like, well, I did sub 10. It was awesome. And Justin's over here setting the goal to win the event.
Kind of wild.
Me and Chip are like, well, should we do the A group or the B group? And Justin's like, well, I'm going to set a goal to win this thing. I'm like, oh, that's cool to have that goal too. So we want to talk about that. Anyway, a lot going on. Justin just had a baby, a lot of fun stuff at work, and a few other things. So, guys, anything else? Chip, Chip, just give us a rundown. How are you?
Yeah, things are good. I was really excited. It was exciting to kick off the Zwift season with Justin this last week. That's
So
another
good.
fun thing. And but the mountain biking is still so good out there. Couple events still to come. There's a Night Cup event in November down in
That's right.
St. George in roughly St. George.
And somebody usually plans a white rim in a day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that, but hopefully the Britons. Dave, are you listening, David?
I would be down for that. I love that. Yeah, so fall is good.
Nice. We were just talking to Justin about his job. He's got some time off because he's had a baby. Justin, how's your baby?
Oh, Jack William Spangler is a champ. So came out 23 inches long, pretty much.
That's right. You were saying he's like the biggest baby.
Longest baby at U of U Health this year. So he's massive. So
he's already a winner, dude.
Almost 10 pounds. It's kind of wild, but he set that record for this year. Maybe it's beaten by someone by now. I don't know. But super long, super big. Sarah was a champ. Mama's healthy.
And where are you right now? Is this your home? Is that your setup right there behind you if you're watching the video?
Yeah, so the last 6 months we've been doing a remodel of our house.
Okay.
This is the second story of our garage. So if you remember last podcast, I had a man cave shed in my backyard that we built. We didn't go the shed route this year we would second story of the garage. So
Okay.
Mhm.
I got like
Okay.
a heat cooling right there, and this is where it is. This is Corby's old kicker bike. He sold me.
Oh, wow. Some
I
history with
got
that
that.
thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Very
got
cool.
a legend has ridden on that Corby. So,
I always think of that when I give away my old bibs. I'm like, well, enjoy these. A lot of memories inside this.
a lot of sweat.
I've got a
So,
shrink wrap machine at the office. I just pretend like they're new. I'll just shrink wrap
Mhm.
and be like, oh, here's some new bibs. Enjoy these.
Mhm.
love it. Love
Good
it.
call. That's a good
All right.
call.
Well, we've got 40 minutes. Should we jump into LOTOJA? Should we just do it?
Yeah, sounds
Okay,
good.
Justin, why don't you? I mean, we'll jump in here and there, but I think it would be fun to hear my first question. When were you like, I I actually believe that I could register as a pro and win? I want to know like
Yeah, sure.
the thought process behind that.
So happy to take you back. I'm going to go a little bit before then because I think
Okay,
that's
okay.
a good precursor, good question to kind of set the stage. So um, I joined the team back in 2020, Stu. As you know, broke my collarbone, everything like that. I was historically a marathon runner prior to
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It wasn't until 2023 that I got like really serious with cycling. I ditched running. Pat Casey was my coach at the time with Peak State Fit. And I decided I was going to drop running completely and just focus on cycling. Me and my high school best friend, Alex Cannon, we had a weekly call where we talk about like our life goals and we break it into a couple of different categories: social, spiritual, financial, yada, yada, yada. One of my physical goals was to win LOTOJA. So set that in January 1st, 2023.
And in your
Is
mind, you were like overall winner, the
Yeah,
winner.
yeah.
Yeah,
Win
yeah.
LOTOJA
Win it.
was the
Okay,
caption.
okay.
Granted, it seemed like far-fetched. At Google, we have this thing that we call 10x ideas. Like think big and try and go for it. A 10x idea
I
was
love that.
LOTOJA.
Okay,
So
okay.
that is when I officially said it. When I decided to register for the pro category, so I'll say 2023 when we set that really, really fast time. And even though I popped my tire, but we beat the pro field time wise, was maybe when I was like,
Oh,
Jack, Lang, we could do this. And they're like, no, we can't do it. We're going to get murdered. And I was like, dude, we like won by like 20 minutes. We set like super fast times. Like, why not? So I registered that following year for the pro field. Jack did too, as well as some other. Corby did also, convinced them all to do it in 2024. And then we all got cold feet. We all got scared. Jack broke his ankle.
that's
Uh,
right.
and we
Mowing his
all
lawn.
moved down to 3-4s. But, that 2023 season was like, let's go to the pro field. And then, or that's when I set the goal. And then 2024 is when we signed up for the pro field, but got cold feet and went down. And then I told Jack at the beginning of the season, I'm not transferring. I'm not moving. We're going to do the pro 1, 2, 3. It's like happening. I'm not going to be budged. So that's what
Awesome. Very
that's
cool.
what did it.
It when this year happened, right? So you guys are registering and you're planning. One of my favorite things is being a fly on the wall, listening to the ridiculous overanalyzation of what is going to happen at the race. Was that similar this year? Were you guys that deep into when you were going to attack, the strategy? I mean, I don't want you to give away too much, but were you and Jack and everybody else involved? You had this goal from the beginning. You were all committed to the strategy to make it happen.
Yeah, Stu, I'm an overshare. I always am. So maybe I'm going to go too far into the
He's like,
weeds.
I'm gonna share my screen. Spreadsheet.
Jack's going to get mad at me probably for oversharing. He always does. But yeah, we have a spreadsheet where we put everyone in and the miles and elevation for the year and so on and so forth. So we had that. And the best time is the week before, 2 weeks before, whatever they give the starting list, to just like over stress. It's so fun. And the conversations are hilarious. Me and Jack on multiple phone calls talking about the spreadsheet and who we're scared of, which was a lot of dudes on that list. And I also had Matt Dennis this year coaching me.
Oh, nice.
So he's been my coach for the last like 6 months.
Okay.
And so me and him chatting about like, what should I do? When's the best time? How's the break? Should I do a break? Should I try and go early? Yada, yada, yada. So that over planning is a real thing. And I spent too much time probably looking at Strava and what people are doing and my Strava and what's my data showing
good.
me I could
Okay, that's
do.
good.
So yeah.
All right. When you were talking to me earlier about doing this, I think one of our main goals here is to just recap the day, right? I mean, we want to be able to remember what it was like. So me and Chip can kind of chime in and ask additional questions, but if you want to just recap everything that you want to share about what it was like, let's do it.
Yeah, happy to go into that recap and thank you. I appreciate it. A million things need to go right to win a bike race. Like,
yeah, what was start time though? Just what
things.
remind us your start time.
Yeah, so we're the first starting group. I think it's like 5:30, right?
Oh my goodness.
So
it's dark for a solid
it's for a
hour.
while. But that's like normal me dwelly wake up start time. Like that's what we've been doing forever. So nothing different than the usual. But 5:30, it's early. You're in the darkness for a long time. They started off nothing too crazy in the dark. It was twice the size of the year prior's pro field. So it was a bigger field of a little over 30 dudes. And then if you add the 35As, even more to that.
And they're with you. They're racing with you.
Yeah.
Essentially. Yeah. Okay.
35As race with us too. So we get out of Logan. It was decent weather this year. Like I went no glove. You know, you always overanalyze. Do I take off the arm sleeves or not? And I took off the gloves last minute, kept the arm sleeves on. So we set out of Logan, neutral mile for the first 5, nothing eventful in there. First thing notable happens coming out of Logan. I forget what that town is, just north of Logan in the suburbs. But Dylan Faulkner, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, who's one of the guys that we knew was going to be a serious contender on the day, put in like a hard pace coming out of Logan. It was the first like wake up call for the group where he's probably putting in over 4.5 watt per kilo down for a sustainable amount of time during that thing. Wasn't enough to like drop anyone, but definitely enough to make everyone's like head go up and be aware. Some people got a little bit further in the back and had a gap and had to make it up. So doing that, I hear normally the pro field doesn't do a natural potty break, but this year we did just north of Logan. Took care of a business and a bio break. This is all going to be critical later on in the story, which is why I bring it up. But we all took a bio break, first one altogether, probably 30 to 45 minutes into the race. We kept going from there as a group. And then the next critical thing actually came from Jesse Hogan, who was actually had the most miles out of everyone going into the race. He last year did a solo break early and was gone for like over half the race. And he decided to do the same thing this year. So around Mink Creek, so even before the first climb of Strawberry, mile like 35 or so, he went off solo. And a bunch of guys who was competed the year prior was like, he did the same thing last year. He got about 4 minutes ahead of us and we caught him on the back half. So no one chased Jesse Hogan down. And he did a little bit of a precursor, 130 miles solo on the day, just an insane amount. But he broke off at Mink Creek. Everyone's kind of like looking around, like, is anyone going to go? Should I go? Should I not go? And no one ends up going. While everyone's kind of just messing around, I noticed that like some of the really strong guys like Roger Arnell and Matt Clark and Dylan, I'll take a bio break on their bikes or stop real quick and take a second bio break. This would also be critical.
Critical. Okay.
So I decided at that moment to take my second bio break of the day because I noticed no one was like going hard. Everyone was just kind of like twiddling their fingers. So I stopped, went to the bathroom, and then continued on and chased for a little bit in Mink Creek. So Jesse probably gets about a 3-minute gap on us prior to the mouth of Strawberry, the first climb. And Dylan, again, puts in like a crazy hard pace. Like people are blowing up all over the place. I think someone touched wheels and almost crashed, but stayed upright. It was insane what Dylan's power was over the day. I think we're in like the top 15 fastest Strawberry times as a group. And we even, that false summit, we slowed down a ton at the false summit. I think to come up to that point, there was only like 6 dudes. I was one of them.
Wow.
In the group, everyone else had kind of blown up. Then the false flat came in, totally chilled out. And we got back to probably a group of like 25 at that point. So a lot of people gained. Then the pitch gets steeper again. And me and a few others kind of hit it. McCade Jassy, who's also a super strong climber, hit it. And I think we're the first 2 over the summit of Strawberry. Matt Clark, who's the national TT in his age group champion.
Wow.
Does like an insane descent down Strawberry. So we won the fastest Strawberry descent of all time, got the KO1. And dude was like a bullet on that thing. Him and Dylan Focklinger actually got like a 12-second gap from the rest of the group on that descent. And I started looking around like, who's going to chase? Because I'm thinking at this point, I think we're like mile 45 or something. Keep me honest if you know where Strawberry ends at. And I'm thinking, I don't want to chase Matt Clark for like 160 miles. And Dylan, that would be like an awful, awful day. So over that terrain from Strawberry, the descent of Strawberry to the first neutral aid station of Montpelier, I put a dig to catch them. And I'm looking around at like who's coming. I'm flicking my elbow and no one's coming around me at this point. Granted, we have like 20, a little over 20 guys at this point. And I realized, oh man, I'm going to have to chase them. No one's like going to help me do this. So eventually I chased Dylan and Matt down with the group staying with me. And we catch them before Montpelier and that aid station. But I like make a mental note. You got to make mental notes of all these things of like who's catching on descents, who's pulling over the climbs, who's willing to work to chase people down, who's getting a free ride, and all those type of things. So I make a mental note of that. We get into Montpelier with the group. My sisters are like freaking NASCAR pit crew team. Now this is their 3rd LOTOJA they've ever been at. They take the stuff out, throw new stuff in, super, super quick. We're in and out of there in like 10 seconds. Someone asks right outside of Montpelier, let's do a second pee break. And I notice that Roger Arnell and Matt Clark, and then Jesse Hogan's already like 6 minutes ahead of us at this point, don't stop. And so I said, I already peed at Meat Creek. I don't need to pee. I'm not stopping either because I noticed them gone. And there was like pretty substantial gap from me and Matt Clark and Roger to Roger and Matt. And so I chase. And I'm also thinking in the back of my head, last time a gap formed, no one helped me on a chase. 0 people. I'm not going to chase down again. So I went with Roger and Matt. I eventually closed down that
Justin, wait.
second gap.
Yeah, so 6 seconds. You said 6 minutes, 6 seconds.
Jesse is 6 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Roger and Matt Clark, who didn't stop
Mhm.
for a pre-break, are 6 seconds or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they didn't stop.
Okay.
So I chase them down, latch onto them. The three of us rotate
Mm.
and are taking turns all the way to Geneva. We don't get caught by another group of like 7 to 10 riders until about a quarter of the way up the second climb, Geneva.
Mhm.
And Dylan had to do all of the pulling to bring that crew back. So he got to be that I don't know, that engine for that group. And I was like, whew, dodged that bullet a little bit. But they finally got us about there. To be honest, like 15 guys from that point in Montpelier were never seen again. Like
Mm.
You just
that,
lost them. Yeah, gone.
yeah, that spot right there was like a critical thing. As I said, a million things have to go right
Right.
to win a bike race.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people didn't catch that chase or decide to stop, and that was the end of their day. So we're coming up Geneva, probably 11 of us at this point or so, because
Yeah.
that 7 to 10 people latch on. We're probably between 11 and 13. Catch on to me, Roger, and Matt Clark on the front, and you got Jesse way up ahead.
Way up front.
We hit Geneva really, really hard. On the day, we hit all 3 climbs KOM, fastest time over all 3 climbs.
Wow.
So Geneva, we also hit really, really hard. I think we're in the top 10, maybe top 20 for Geneva. Dylan also had to pull that whole second climb, or most of it, about 2/3 of that second climb. Everyone let Dylan just pull again. And so I start chirping up, and I tell, maybe I do this a little too much, to like Mitt Niederhauser, who's super strong, but a climber, and like McKay Jassy, who's a climber, super strong. Like, hey, take a pull for Dylan. Like, don't let him take all the pulls on every climb. Let's like rotate through to get a fast time. We still got to catch Jesse way up ahead. It's not like time to like the games. So McCabe takes a pull, and then I take a pull, and I do the last, like, I don't know, quarter of Geneva, and I'm the first one over the top of Geneva too. So we hit that climb, and there's like a brutal headwind between Geneva and the KOM of Salt. So we take that. Everyone's doing rotations over that time period. We're trying to catch a little bit, but it's like a brutal headwind, and we realize there's still like a whole back half of the race to be done. We finally get to Salt, and McCade Jassy hits it really, really hard to start it. He sets the pace on Salt. At that point, a lot of people blowing up from that group of like 13 or so. Roger Arnell jumps him about a third of the way up Salt, and McCade lets a gap form to Roger. I realized that I had to like make up that gap. I'm a big dude. I'm 200 pounds. I shouldn't be able to climb so much. So I need to hold the wheel as much as I can. So I jump McCade to hold on to Roger's wheel, and me and Roger ascend Salt. The last 2 years, I failed at LOTOJA. You guys both know this. Most of the members of our team did. But I've had 2 pretty heartbreaking losses in LOTOJA, and we'll get to that a little later on in the story. But little known fact, if you win the Salt KOM fastest time, you actually get a night stay or a 2-night stay up in Jackson Hole.
Yeah.
So I was slightly thinking like, there's a consolation prize here.
Yeah.
Like maybe I hit Salt really hard because I'm probably going to blow it for the 3rd year in a row towards the end of the race. Maybe let's try and do that. Well, I try to jump Roger Arnell. He beats me to the top. Me and him go 1-2. He wins the KOM.
No,
On
really?
the top. He's so strong, Roger is. So me and him are the first 2 over the KOM and start descending. There's some gaps formed between the 13 people. I think like Dylan is shortly behind. Jesse's still way up ahead. Then Matt Clark comes over He's probably towards the back at that time, but he does what he does best, which is crazy, insane, fast descending, and brings a lot of the people that got dropped with him. So towards the bottom ish, and maybe a little bit into that flat section, we get back to about a group of 13. Just Matt Clark can get so aero and can go so fast on downhills. It's like insane. So we're coming into the second aid station. There's nothing too eventful other than we're all taking pulls, but everyone's kind of doing half-hearted pulls at this point. Nothing like crazy. Jesse's still 6 minutes ahead of us, and we're going into the second aid station. The last 2 years, I've decided to skip the second aid station and just make it all the way into Alpine. This year was different because last year I got a heat stroke about 4 miles from the finish line,
gosh.
which led me on a park bench for 30 minutes in the fetal position. I had to go in the ambulance. So this year I told my sisters, I'm stopping in Alpine. You got to be there, and I've got to take a bottle handout. Well, we went so fast, I thought it was very unlikely that they were going to be there. And as we're rolling in to that second aid station, I don't see my sisters. They were both in bright red shirts, so I could identify them in a crowd. And I don't see them. And I needed them on the right side because my hand can't grab it on the left side. And I don't see them. So I start like looking around and panicking a little bit, thinking like, oh, I'm going to get a heat stroke like last year. And I see my sister on the left side running, sprinting, her whole heart out across the park to get there. Not to get like too emotional, but like, she misses that bottle, I probably get a heat stroke and fail again. And like, she didn't know where exactly I was. Why in the world she sprints to get me that bottle is, I don't know, maybe a little godsend, a little blessing. And no joke, she gets to me in the perfect moment.
Yes.
Arm outreach as far as she can. I'm reaching with my right hand across my body, grab it and go. Just kind of like one of those little special kind of moments that you're like,
nice.
So cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
And we're off again. Everyone's continuing doing half-hearted pulls. Jesse's still way up the road. We're all thinking that in the back of my mind, like miles are ticking by and his time is not ticking by. And we finally get to the infamous construction site where that dang light over the bridge that stopped us. We were there for over 6 minutes waiting.
That's it. That is insane.
So some of the people who like had gotten dropped, because I think we were at 11 when we got to the light, caught back on. We're back up to 13. The marshal told us that Jesse was there for 40 seconds. That's it. We were there for over 6 minutes. By the time we get rolling, it's a 12-minute gap. Over a 12-minute gap.
No way.
Over 5 miles ahead of us. And my sisters mapped it out what the gap was. And they're like, yeah, he's like over 5 miles ahead of you. While we're waiting, so before we know the whole 6 minutes, but we've been waiting there for a few minutes, Dylan stands up and he says, hey, like, no one's here is racing for second. The last 30 miles have just been like playing games with half-hearted pulls.
Good point.
Let's work together.
Yeah.
I speak up and also like, let's do this, guys. Matt chimes in. And dude, I'm not kidding you. It's like ducks in formation in the sky. I've never been part of such an amazingly cool racing experience as that pace line was for the next next hour and a half. Everyone gave it their all.
That's so good.
Their all over that back half. We get a bunch of KOMs, bunch of fastest times. People are putting massive digs in. We did a constant rotation. So as soon as you're in the front, just wait for the person to get a bike length behind you. And then you move over and you just do that constant rotation. I think we averaged like 30 miles per hour for like, and one thing I'll say is like, people gave it their all. Like, it was inspiring. Like, I'm going to name some people. Hopefully they're okay if they hear this podcast later, but like Blair Perkins, dude, like vomited, like projectile vomited, like, because he did it, but he gave it his all. Matt Clark got cramps like no one can believe and was like dying. McCade Jassy was like putting in massive digs, and these guys are not like big guys like 200 pounds like me that can hold 450 watts. They're like climbers. Mitt Niederhausen is like, I'm not even sure, but like not more than a buck 150 wet. And he's doing massive digs over these things. Grant did some big stuff. And people start, we did that for that time and like put people in the hurt cycle. It was the washing machine.
So good though.
But it was amazing to watch. Like people, it's kind of like the filming of T&E. Like, it's where you have everyone going 100% all the time with each other, helping each other. So we knock off, by the time we get to Alpine, 9 minutes on Jesse's time.
Wow.
We just cooked. And then we got that aid station, super quick transitions, got back together going into Snake River. Finally, for the first time, we're having like a tailwind because it's been massive crosswind over all of Star Valley. And we start putting in some big digs. Some people start hurting really, really bad. We get about a third of the way up, or maybe even a quarter of the way up Snake, and like the pace line starts falling apart. Like, people can't do it anymore. I'm feeling pretty good at this part. And I look over, Roger had like popped a tire at this point, so he wasn't there, which was like heartbreaking for him.
Yeah.
Some other people had some difficulties. Blair had his moment of vomit. And there, at this point, Jesse's up front. There's 2 people from the 35As in the group. And then there's me and 4 other Pro 123s. So I'm seeing 6. Or no, there was 7. There was 5 Pro 1-3s. And I'm saying the podium is almost secured here for the 1-2-3 field. And we're about a quarter way up Snake. So I turned to Dylan. I said, like, let's make a for sure podium. And so I go off with a pretty big watt attack and go solo. Instantly get separation from the group. And do that for about 10 minutes or so. I finally get Jesse within about a 30-second view. So the gap to Jesse at that point was about 2 minutes.
Wow.
The marshal told us. I did that attack, and I finally got Jesse within view, 20-second gap or so, and finally like eased up. Because the more time he's out there solo, the better it is for me and for the people that didn't go solo. So the group I dropped finally catches up, and sure enough, drops 2 people from the Pro 1-2-3 group, podium secured. And I'm thinking back to like Jess Clapier telling me like, Justin, you need to not be stupid at LOTOJA. Like, you could do this. Like, getting a podium at LOTOJA is so great. That's why you need to have like Matt Clark be your coach. I'm thinking all these things of like when people were telling me stuff to do. So we finally catch Jesse and Snake. We're towards the end of it, and I'm thinking, maybe there's something here that can happen. Give a couple of salt pellets to some people that were cramping to see if they could be any better. I still had water in my bottles, feeling pretty good. And so we get to about Hoback Junction, and I start doing what Matt Dennis had me do for the last 4 months, which is 40-20s over and over and over and over again. So Hoback, I start doing that, ramp up to 800.
Oh, Justin.
Mm.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
We lost you. Yeah, we just lost you for 1 second.
So
Ramp up to 800. Say that again.
yeah, just ramp up to 800 and doing attacks. So I probably do between Hoback and halfway through that neighborhood, a dozen attacks, 40-second to 1 minute attacks. I think we're the fastest time up Hoback and Hoback to the finish. I can't drop anyone. One attack, pretty much everyone can grab onto. I probably chirped a little too much. Like I told Dylan, I was like, I know you have some bullets in that barrel. I know you have some attacks too. You know, Matt Clark can drop a 1400-watt bomb at any given minute. A bunch of strong guys. Finally, about halfway through the neighborhood, after about a dozen
Uh-oh.
attacks over me when I sit down.
Go back one sec, Jess, because it cut
Yeah,
out again.
we lost you again.
It's so dumb. So about 12 miles from the finish, halfway through that neighborhood, after you do that left turn before the bike path, I do an attack. Dylan instantly attacks over me at the end of mine. I am like fist pumping because one attack everyone can hold on to. 2 attacks drops half the field. 3 attacks, it's really hard for anyone to hold on. If you look at the pros, look at Tade, it's normally that bam, 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 and then you get distance. Once Dylan sits, Matt Clark held on to him. I grabbed Matt Clark's wheel. Once Dylan sits, I attack over him and get instant separation. Just a little bit prior, we had actually let one of the 35As go up ahead and get about a 30-second gap on us because everyone was just watching my wheel and not worrying about his. So I get that separation from the group and I put down as many watts as I can till I catch on to Derek's wheel, who's in the 35A. I finally catch him about a mile before the bike path. And I look at him and I say, let's keep it 28 miles per hour, 1 minute pulls, give it all you got, and we're winning LOTOJA. Because we're in 2 separate categories. So we're not competing against each other.
Oh, that's right.
Let's just help each other and do this. We do the fastest time on the bike path. We finally get to that spot where I died the last 2 years prior. It's about 4 miles from the finish. In 2023, I popped a tire, which left me 10 minutes on the side of the road after trying to patch it, which was like a really, really sad day in my life. And then the year prior, I had gotten that heat stroke and laid on a wooden bench just after the bridge for 30 minutes as everyone passed me. I finally got to that spot, Chip and Stu, and I lost it. I came unglued. Just started crying, like bawling my face off, thinking like I'm in first place in the Pro 1-2-3s. I'm feeling pretty good. You know, maybe this could happen. Also at that time, I started getting some text messages from my family, and my texts sync with my Garmin. And so they start coming up on my computer, and my wife starts texting me, my father-in-law, the whole family. My executive MBA group starts texting. They're like, he's in first. He's doing it. Oh, he's doing it. Like all these things. And man, just the waterworks. I'm an emotional guy. Just start coming unglued. I am sure Derek was like, what in the world? This dude's like crying and I'm just losing it. So we finally make the right-hand turn after that low gravel section and heading up straight shot to Jackson. We're taking 1 minute pulls. I see that our miles, anytime I'm not pulling it, our miles per hour are going down a little bit. So I start attacking over and over and over. And he's hanging in there every time, over every attack. Like he was so insanely strong. Finally, 3Ks to go. They have that sign on the side of the road. I see him stand up and do a big dig. As soon as he sits down, just like what Jack Bourne does to me on Monday morning Emmys on the switchbacks, when he sits down, I stand up and attack, got separation, and then I soloed for the last 3K
3 miles
for the win.
Yes.
So
Dude.
it was pretty wild. As I've reflected back on it, it's pretty mind-boggling to have a goal that you set for 3 years finally get accomplished. I was talking to my wife afterwards about big goals, and very rarely in life do you set a goal that has over 1,000 dedicated conscious hours towards accomplishing. The only one I could think of is college, like graduating college. Like, I'm doing this homework so I can graduate from grade school all the way up. You could maybe say marriage, but like, I would argue that that's not conscious, dedicated time. I'm doing this for that. You just like try to be a good person along the way. This LOTOJA goal, I tabulated it. I counted it all up because Strava allows us to do it. Since 2023, I completed over 1,992 hours in the saddle, 45,719 miles completed. To put that into perspective, around the equator is only 24,000. That's almost 2 times around the equator of planet Earth. And 2,137,013 feet of elevation climbed. That's 2 times to the International Space Station and back. And that's like kind of mind-boggling to be on the other side of completing something like that.
Wow.
And accomplishing. And so that's been kind of a fun reflection point over the last little bit. At the finish line, it was awesome to see all the friends. Noodle jumped on me and gave me a big hug. Saw Jack, Lang, everyone there. It was a wild feeling, some reporters and everything. And it was an awesome feeling. It was an honor to be a part
Dude,
of it.
it's crazy though to hear it from the perspective of, usually you kind of think like, well, from the first mile, you're like, today's my day. You're like, you watch Keegan win Leadville, and you're like, well, he was in the front the whole time. It was a great day. It's so interesting. This day is so long. I think that's what like doubles down with how fun it is that you're like, there was a guy out front. He was 12 minutes. I mean, anyone that's like, oh, well, he was 12 minutes from, it's like, this is over. Like, what are we even doing? Like 12 minutes. It's such a cool, fun story that just the way it unfolded.
Yeah, there was definitely times I thought Jesse had it in the bag. Like, when is enough? You would think 12 minutes is enough of a gap to win this thing. And I will say, like, our group was so fun. Like, the dudes that gave it their all. Jesse for putting in that effort for 130 miles solo. My heart goes out to him, one, for getting caught. But like, that's an insane effort that he did. One other kind of cool thing that I got to give my hat off to, second place, Jesse took second place. And it's kind of cool how that story played out. Dylan actually pushed him in front of him.
Nice.
At
Cool.
the finish line.
I love that.
But
That's fun.
rarely in cycling, especially someone like Dylan, who's so strong that could go places, do you see that level of like, sportsmanship and respect? Because cycling's a very selfish sport. Well, that Dylan did that and like pushed Jesse to second was really, really cool. And, couldn't have done it without all the guys that were there and putting the digs in and the work. So the fallout from LOTOJA has been pretty humbling and mind-blowing.
What do you mean?
So the coach for Team USA's Paralympic cycling team messaged me, and I filled out the form for their team camp for LA 2028. So they have a camp in December that I'll probably go to. But starting to think about maybe being in the Paralympics. Which is kind of wild. And then
that's incredible.
The people that reach out, the articles, a couple of things about sponsorship. It's all just like mind-boggling. So
Dang, bro.
Been a fun ride. And I couldn't do it without the team and like all the friends that we ride and Zwift. I'm happy to see that start back up again. But like that puts your base in for the rest of the year. So
Well, you're so good at sharing it with everybody too, Justin. That's what makes it so fun.
It is so fun.
I know Chip's got a bit of a time crunch here, but Chip, well, I know you've got some questions. Any questions for Justin?
No, most of them I think we covered, and I think that this episode is like set as is with that story. And so, but I would say, Justin, if you could just share, LOTOJA wraps up, but then you go and there was still more, and I was thrilled to hear first about the Olympic coach reaching out to you, but then second of all the KOM and the hill climb stat that you just won in California.
Yeah, so I just did a bunch of other stupid stuff after the race. I went to California, so got a little bit of a elevation boost and went and hit the popular climb behind Stanford and got the KOM up Page Mill and a few other KOMs down there. I went and snagged and I did a 485 watt effort, and so that was kind of mind-boggling.
It's a sought-after KO. Like it's a race in and of itself that everyone chases.
Yeah.
So it was kind of wild. So it's been a lot of fun. Cycling's a lot of fun. Excited to do it indoor with everyone over the next few months. People should join Zwift. We had 26 this morning.
I saw that. Crazy. That was a lot of people. That was a lot of folks.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Well, I'll have to get my Zwift out of the garage in a box that I don't even know where the cables are. So
come on, Stu. It's been raining for like a week plus now. You gotta get it out. You don't want to be
the dirt's still so good. Yeah.
So.
That's awesome.
All right, Chip.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure, you guys.
Dude,
I love being on this team, and I love the friendships and friends and memories we make together. And here's to many, many more.
Yeah, many more. Well, it's just so funny to even think back on this day. Like I was at a Nike race, and my text started coming through. It was like, no, Spangler won. I was like, oh, that's cool. He won his age group. That was cool that he won these. And someone was like, no, you idiot. Like, he won. So it's so awesome to hear. Chip, I don't know if we've ever, looking back on, I remember me and Chip, when I first started riding with me, Dwelly, he'd be like, oh yeah, well, Dowdle won what LOTOJA was like Cat 5. And in the last like 5 or 6 years, it's so cool to watch guys on the team be like, no, we're winning. And then for Justin to be like, no, I won the whole thing. So fun to celebrate and just look back on. So nice job, dude.
So one last thing I gotta say, I'll do it next year again. I think I told Deseret News or West Cycling. I've checked my win box. The only goal that I had going in there that we didn't accomplish was set a new course record.
Oh boy.
I would love to get all of the friends to come, and I am glad to do my fair part of pulling for us to get a course record in 2026. I just want to be a part of greatness. I don't care who wins. I hope someone else wins. I just want to see that dang time fall. We were fourth. I think I'm the fourth fastest all time this year.
Dang. Yeah.
Even with the stoplight and other stuff.
Next year we got stupid stoplight.
Next year we got to set the new course record. So I'm putting that out there. Hopefully we can get some of the guys to do it.
Cool.
In 2026. So
thanks, fellas. Thanks, Justin.
Thank you guys.
Okay, guys.
Good to be with you.
Love y'all. Bye.